God Valley is one of the most anticipated moments for One Piece fans, a battle that involved the biggest names of the old pirate era: Roger, Garp, Zebek, Whitebeard, Big Mom, Garling, Shiki, among other monsters, clashing in an all-out war. But what triggered this battle? It seems that Chapter 1157 of One Piece has finally given us the answer. And while to many the motive might seem silly, perhaps Oda took inspiration from one of the greatest wars in human history for this story. Well, let's break it down in this video, shall we? Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We just got One Piece Chapter 1157, and in my opinion, it was an incredibly fun chapter. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell. That really helps the channel grow and reach way more people, so give me that support. All right, let's get into the content of this video. Continuing Harald's flashback, which became Loki's flashback, which then turned into the Rock's flashback, and now officially a flashback to the old pirate era. Chapter 1157's main focus was on fun, plain and simple. First, showing us the dynamic within the Rock's pirates. We already knew they didn't get along, but now we see it wasn't just that. They were sabotaging each other all the time. That was probably the main reason they never fully dominated the world. Even so, the narrator makes it clear that during the short period they were active, even sharing the same seas as the future Pirate King, this was undeniably the era of the Rocks. Oda didn't want to reveal how Whitebeard got the Gura Gura no Mi, nor how Gloriosa joined the Rocks. Maybe he'll clarify that in an SBS. But clearly that wasn't the most important thing right now. What really mattered was the start of the collision between King Harald and the world government, with Harald opposing them at times, even though he still wanted Elbaf to become a world government affiliated nation. We then see multiple attempts from Rocks to recruit Harald, once again refused, and the moment when giants began to be accepted into the Marines. But without a doubt, the most important part of the chapter was its ending, when we learn that Shaki left the Kuja pirates and went to live in Hachinosu, leaving every man there completely smitten by her. Note, Sanji fans had their moment here. Yes, even the great names of the past had their eyes set on this goddess named Shakuyaku. Actually, just imagine if she had Hancock's devil fruit. She probably would have been the most powerful pirate of her era. But anyway, the big reveal of the chapter was this. Shaki is the treasure of Hachinosu, the very same treasure mentioned back in chapter 1096. And with that revelation, it becomes clear that Shaki may have been the main catalyst for the great incident of God Valley. Of course, this split the One Piece fandom. How could such a trivial reason be the trigger for such a legendary event? But what if I told you that even if the reason seems superficial, Oda may have based it on one of the greatest wars in human history? A war that also started over a woman? I'm talking about the Trojan War. For those who don't know, this legendary event told in books and portrayed in films was set in motion by a woman, Helen of Troy. In mythology, Helen was considered the most beautiful woman in the world, daughter of Zeus and Leda. She married Menelaus, king of Sparta, but ended up being taken, some say abducted, others say she went willingly, by Paris, Prince of Troy. This act led Menelaus to invoke the oath sworn by all of Helen's former suitors, that they would all fight alongside him should anything happen to his wife. Thus, a coalition of Greek city-states was formed to attack Troy. The parallels are incredible. Let's break them down. Helen was considered a jewel, the treasure of Troy, just as Shaki is also considered. In the Trojan War, the greatest Greek heroes, Achilles, Odysseus, Ajax, Diomedes, fought side by side despite historical rivalries. In God Valley, we had the greatest names of that era and even two rivals joining forces for a single goal, Garp and Roger. And here's a question. Could Roger's reason for helping Garp have been exactly this? To free Shaki? Troy was a fortified city, the stage of a 10-year siege, with legendary battles immortalized in Homer's Iliad. God Valley, in turn, is described as an island that simply vanished from the map after the incident. We don't know if it was destroyed or hidden by the world government, but we do know that it was the site of a battle involving pirates, the Marines, the Celestial Dragons, and possibly even allied kingdoms. Now, If this really is Oda's inspiration, if the Trojan War is the model for the great incident of God Valley, then maybe we even have a Trojan horse here. Some great betrayal, a strategic move that brought down the Rock's pirates. But I'll leave it to you to theorize. What could have been the Rock's Trojan horse? Finally, the chapter ends with a call from Mary Geoise to Harold. Gorosei member Marcus Mars says he will accept Elbaf's entry into the world government, but with two conditions. One is to kill Rox, and the other is left unstated. So, could Harold have been the Trojan horse, joining the Rox only to betray them later? Well, there are many possibilities. Leave your thoughts on this chapter in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. See you next time, and thanks for watching.